What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 10, Episode 13. We are still in Rome. After the big blow up at the dinner table, everybody sort of split into two camps. You had Garcelle, Denise, and who was with them? Garcelle, Denise, and was it Sutton? I think Sutton ended up going to both people's rooms. But it was Garcelle, Denise, and who was with Garcelle? Who was with Garcelle and Denise? Dorit. Dorit. Everybody else was in Kyle's room. And so, of course, you can imagine the conversation. Dorit and Garcelle were supporting Denise and hearing what Denise had to say. And the rest of the ladies were just like, I can't believe it happened like that. I can't believe the way things went. I feel so bad. My stomach hurts. My anxiety's high. And I'm like, how y'all upset? But let me say this before I get deeper into this review, because y'all know I'm going to forget. I can appreciate Garcelle's friendship in this episode because Garcelle was a friend to Denise. Unlike Lisa Rinna, who, I got some words for Lisa Rinna. We're going to get there. Sutton. I like Sutton more and more every episode. She run me wrong the beginning, but I am liking Sutton more and more until we found out about how your ass acted in that damn dressing room. But we'll get there too, honey. But I'm liking you, Sutton. I'm liking you. I had a third thing to say. Oh, shit. The third one was Denise. Denise. I was fighting for you. I was defending you. I had your back. But I don't know. You lost me a little bit this episode, Denise. Let's go and talk about it. So the next morning, the ladies wake up. And that daggone Sutton, she got personalized Hunter rain boots made for all of the ladies. Let me explain something to you guys. I can appreciate a friend with gifts, especially when that friend has more money than me and they give good gifts. I can appreciate that. That is the second time Sutton has given the group a really nice gift. And you know, it'll be real easy to talk about Sutton's money and how she, but she really seems to be a very genuine friend. And Dorit made a comment later on talking about do you think that she's trying to buy friends? I don't think she's trying to buy you guys as friends. I think she's trying to show you guys that she appreciates the friendship you guys are building. And again, when you have money, there's certain things that just aren't that big of a deal. And she's also Southern. And so she was probably raised with a certain level of Southern etiquette. And let me tell you something about etiquette and Southern etiquette. Southern etiquette a lot of times involves gifting. Even if you don't have nothing to gift, even if you don't have the money or you don't have a lot of money, Southern etiquette involves, you never show up to someone's house empty-handed. And maybe that's not Southern etiquette, it's just etiquette, but she's Southern and it's etiquette, so I'll make it Southern etiquette. You never show up to someone's house empty-handed. When you invite someone to an event, you give them a gift. And if you notice, that's what she's done. She was invited on this trip, so she bought a gift. When she had her opening of her store, she gave them goodie bags. It just so happened that her goodie bags are like swag, Anyway, so she gave them all, the Hunter rain boots. And they had their initials on the back in stones. I guess some sort of stone child. But it was really, really cute. So the next morning we have Dorit and Kyle need to go have a talk because, Dorit got mad at Kyle last night and sort of got nasty with her the night before. And then you have Lisa and Denise deciding they need to sit down and have a conversation. Now let me start with Denise and Lisa because Kyle and Dorit I just don't care that much about. Lisa, you're a shitty friend. You're a shitty friend. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. Because last season, when you brought Denise on the show, or when Denise was introduced to us, she was brought to us as your friend. And you said that you and Denise have been friends for however many years, and you went through the Charlie years with her, and you guys have been through a lot together, and Da 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 da. You built this whole thing up that y'all had this great friendship. Denise had a very valid point when she said, you knew all of this was going on and you didn't even give me a warning. You let me walk around all day long like everything was everything and you didn't have nothing to tell me. And her response was, well, I didn't feel like it was my place. I feel like it was the responsibility of the people who got the information because I just don't think we should be playing telephone. Like, that's when it's gossip, not when it's your friend. If that was somebody that I considered a friend and I knew that was being said, bitch, you better bet your bottom dollar I'm going to let her know, especially before she gets ambushed at dinner. I thought that was shitty, Lisa. Then, you obviously don't believe her. You obviously believe that Brandy Glanville telling the truth. And even Kyle said something to the effect of she was in a lawsuit and, you know, she was like, well, Brandy is a lot of things, but a liar I don't know her to be, you know. I'm not going to agree with that. I'm going to disagree with that statement, but then Denise, we kind of question a little bit of a fib. Okay. Teddy asked you specifically, had you talked to Brandy prior to Kyle's party, because that was part of Brandy's story, was that you were worried about Brandy coming to the party and what Brandy would or would not say. Last night at dinner, you said no. Well, Lisa read it today, you said you talked to Brandy. And I also feel like you can look at this whole situation with the overnight trip two different ways. You can look at it from the point of view of you can look at it from the point of view of maybe Denise is telling the truth because that's the only time her and Brandy spent that kind of time together. Or you can look at it from the point of view of that's the night they slept together, and that's why Denise knows that's the night Brandy's talking about. Because the podcast keeps coming up. And so, because, you know, Denise's thing is, I haven't spent that much time with Brandy. I don't hang out with Brandy. And she keeps going back to the podcast. So it's two different ways you can look at that. But I did have to give you the side eye on that one, Denise, because that was a very specific question asked, and you were very adamant. But I also feel like you were flustered in the moment. You were taken aback, and everybody was throwing everything at you. And I don't think you defended yourself in the best way. I just think that Brandy got some shit with her, so I'm not going to automatically just believe whatever Brandy's saying. And I still feel like, well, we'll get there. That's a later on conversation. But yeah, Lisa, in that moment, I just think you were a shitty friend. Yeah. Then we found out that Lisa, Garcelle, Denise, and Erica are going out on these Ferraris, these $210,000 Ferraris. Child, bye. This is where I become a scaredy cat. Let me explain something to you. No, ma'am. That's how I know I'm po. I can't even wrap my brain around driving something that costs $210,000. I cannot. Nope. When I look at these shows and I see people driving these Bentleys and all this other stuff, I'm like, I would, like, give me like a $60,000 BMW. I think I'd be comfortable. Give me a Tesla. I'm comfortable. A car that has more zeros. Child, no. No, ma'am. Anyway, then Garcelle came to visit Denise, and Garcelle did what a friend is supposed to do. You check on your friend, you uphold your friend, and you give your friend what they need in that moment. That doesn't mean, listen, let's be clear, that doesn't mean that Garcelle believes Denise any more than the rest of the people believe Denise. But Garcelle is clear that Denise is my friend, and I am going to support my friend. Garcelle, you was a good friend of Denise this episode. Then we have Teddy and we have Kyle. I just don't care. I think Teddy has a point in, I mean, not Teddy, I'm sorry, Dorit and Kyle. I think Dorit has a point to a certain extent that Kyle does seem like she sort of nitpicks at Dorit. But Dorit, let's be clear, you make it easy. Like, you do shit for people to nitpick on. Like, for example, the point she made about the whole, you were late and we're waiting for you because you were in glam. is valid, because I feel like I can think of at least 3 to 4 examples just this season where they're waiting for you. And they're waiting for you because you are in glam. Like, that's a valid reason to be irritated, and I would have a problem with it. Yeah, I know how I feel about people wasting my damn time and disrespecting my time, and I feel like you disrespect their time. They waited on her for damn near an hour for dinner later on in the episode, and not only was she in glam, she's upstairs taking pictures again, just like she did in when they went to Teddy's event, child. Anyway, so yeah, I Dorit was like, Kyle treats me different. She doesn't treat me the same as the rest of the ladies. She gives me more shit than she gives the rest of the ladies. Whatever. I don't care, child. I don't care. I don't. Then we find out Sutton is going to a private shopping moment at Dolce Gabbana, which, go back to the first episode. She has a relationship with the designers and all of that. And she told them she was coming to Rome, and they were like, well, you got to come to the store. We'll set up a private shopping. And she invited Kyle and Dorit to come with her. And I found that interesting because earlier in the season, her and Lisa was so cool, but whatever, child. So the trip on the Ferraris, I thought was, again, I would have been in the passenger side. I'd have went. Actually, no, I'd have went to that. If given the choice, I'm going to Dolce & Gabbana. Oh, and that's the other thing. Let me rewind before I get on that. That's the other thing I thought was interesting. This double standard we have in this country. When Dorit was she was defending Denise, so, but she was like, and I just don't think that, being in a relationship with another woman is reason for divorce. And Kyle was like, my husband would leave me just as fast. Like, woman or man, he leaving. And I just think that's that double standard. Like, sex with a woman isn't an affair, isn't cheating, isn't sex. Which made me look you a little funny, Dorit. Who you been? Who you and PK been with? Anyway, but they had a good time, the ladies. And the ladies who went on the Ferrari trip, they drove up through the ups and downs, the ins and outs. And they ended up at a winery. They weren't driving home from the winery, child. They parked in Ferraris. And the winery that they went to was just great. They had this cellar that went so far down. And it ended up they were like literally under the street. And they were down in the wine cellar. And they had a good moment where Denise and Erica were able to kind of clear the air in reference to the situation with Aaron. And this was another moment that made me look at Denise a little sideways. Well, no, it wasn't this moment. It was later on at dinner. But let me say it now because I might forget it later. Erica was able to let her know how she felt. About her husband and the way her husband spoke to them at the thing. And, Denise did apologize for Aaron and everything. And Erica was like, you don't have to apologize for your husband. Like, I love, I can appreciate you, and my feelings for you don't have anything to do with how I feel about Aaron. I hope me and Aaron can talk and move past it. PK and I were able to move past it, but I just think things take on a different turn when the husbands get involved, which is valid. Now, later on in the episode, I'm going to just go ahead and throw it out there. Later on in the episode, though, Denise, I got to push back a little bit. She's talking about how Aaron loves these ladies and he would be offended if he felt like he didn't want to offend them, and he would be so sorry and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm thinking to myself, hell no, Aaron has shown me in no way, shape, or form that he give a damn about these women, that he likes these women, that he wants you associating with these women. Like, again, I'm giving you the side eye, Denise, because in that moment, you ain't have to do all of that. In that moment, you could have just said, hey, I'm sorry about what happened. I can't speak for my husband. Because Erica had already told you she doesn't need you to apologize for him. And so I had to give you the side eye again, Denise, like, come on, Denise. Like, you're doing too much. Like, what did it say? Methinks he protests too much. Your husband don't like them women. Anyway. So let me ask a dumb designer question. Because I don't know. I don't know a lot about Dolce & Gabbana. I don't know a lot of, that's not my, Is the tiara one of their signatures, or do they make the tiaras for Sutton, and then they had the tiaras in this private room because they had some really nice tiaras. I like the tiara, the one with the daisies in it, and I like the one Sutton had with like the flowers in it, like the flower child. Those tiaras were everything. So I feel like that's like a signature of Dolce & Gabbana because I don't know. Only thing I know, I remember Dolce & Gabbana being like Whitney's go-to at one point in her career. Like she loved them and she wore a lot of their stuff. I know that, you know, they had a really bad split. They were a couple and then they split. Like I do know those things, but I didn't know that was like a trademark. Anyway, y'all let me know. Sutton. Listen, you can invite me to a private shopping experience at Dolce & Gabbana anytime. It was a really cute bag in there that I like. I don't know if I can afford it, but I would damn sure try. But later on in the episode, you had that Fendi bag that you had bought, the silver Fendi bag. Listen, you know you don't carry that bag no more. It's just sitting in your closet collecting dust. They taped this episode months ago. You know how I know it was months ago? Because they wasn't talking about no COVID. We've been talking about COVID at least since December, January-ish, okay? The country been shut down since March. So I know you're not even... You have bought 20 more bags since you bought that Fendi. Can you send me that Fendi bag? Can you send it to a poor YouTuber? I'll take it. Anyway. But the only thing about... So I could appreciate that Sutton was like, listen, I didn't have to ask them to set that up. That's just what they do for me. I didn't take it as her being braggadocious in that moment. I took it as that is just a fact of her life. And it didn't come off as her bragging to me. Y'all know what I'm saying? Now, I will say you showed your ass in that damn dressing room crying and shit and didn't want to come out the dressing room. You didn't want to come out the dressing room because you didn't want the cameras to catch whatever it was you had on. She had mentioned that she felt like she had picked up weight and her clothes were tight. And what they probably did was they pulled those clothes for Sutton based on the measurements that they had from the last time her ass was there. And them clothes didn't fit. And she was a little embarrassed. That's all that was. But she showed her tail, wouldn't come out the damn dressing room. I said, girl, if you don't go sell somewhere. Anyway. But when you rich like that and they'll just send it to your hotel room and you can try it on there and then send back what you don't want and they just charge the rest to your card on file. I mean, I guess you can. And hell, if I could, I would too. Because you know what I hate doing? I hate trying on clothes. Like, say, you wouldn't do it. I don't. I hate trying on clothes. Anyway. So that night they're going to have dinner. And because I'm long-winded, y'all. We running long. That night they're going to have dinner. And so everybody's getting dressed up. And like I said, Dorit has her glam. And she kept everybody waiting for damn near an hour. Damn near an hour. And it's funny because her and Erica looks almost were the same. And I know Dorit hated that shit. Because you know she always has to be original. Dorit was kind of channeling, in my mind, like a Madonna, borderline Madonna. Desperately Seeking Susan type Madonna. And Erica was channeling that Marilyn Monroe, you know, thing. But they both had the blonde going and the black outfits and this, that, and the other. Anyway. So then they get at dinner. And once again, what do they start talking about? They started talking about the night before. And that's when Denise made the comment about Aaron and how, you know, she doesn't understand because they all like Aaron. I mean, Aaron likes all of them. And he would be offended. He would not offended, but he would be upset if he knew they were angry with him and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You lying. He don't like them hoes. And hell, you probably don't either no more. Then the whole conversation came up. And now Denise is swinging. But here's the problem, Denise. We don't know if you're swinging because this is legit ammunition or if you're swinging and you making shit up because of what happened the night before. And now you feel like you have to come back with something. And that's why I said, Denise, I'm giving you a little bit of the side eye now because I don't know. I'm starting to feel like maybe, just maybe, some of what was said, because y'all know I told y'all, I believe that something went down between Denise and Brandy. I believe that. I do. I believe it. I don't believe that Brandy and Denise just sat around talking about the women on the show. But to hear Denise tell the story, Denise said that Brandy was talking about all the women on the show and that Brandy knew inside information. Now, I'm going to tell you, I believe that part. I'm going to tell you why I believe that part. Because who is Brandy's partner in crime? Kim. Who's Kim's sister? Kyle. Who would know everything that's going on, even stuff, because Denise said Brandy knew stuff that even I didn't know. So who's the one person that's in every clique, that talks to everybody on the show, that knows everything that's going on the show? Kyle. That I believed. But then in her coming up with all this information, she told on herself, and either we caught her in a lie last night or we caught her in a lie tonight, because now you say you talked to Brandy. And like I said, before you said you hadn't talked to Brandy. But now you say you talked to Brandy. Which one is it? Either you talked to her or you didn't. Now, if you didn't talk to her, then everything you just said is bullshit. If you did talk to her, you lied the night before. The other thing she said is that, well, Brandy claims that she slept with every woman she comes in contact with, and she said she slept with at least one person on the show. And this is what she said at this table right now. And of course, Kyle leans up like, who? Who'd she say? Who'd she say? Now, again, I don't believe Kyle. I don't believe Brandy slept with any of them any more than I believe. I don't believe it. I don't believe, but what I don't know is, did Erica say? I mean, Lord, Erica. What I don't know is, did Brandy say it and I don't believe it's true, or is Denise lying, trying to even the playing field? Y'all see what I'm saying? But I don't believe it. I don't believe Brandy slept with anybody at that table, and I really don't believe Brandy said it either, to be honest with you. No. Well, yeah. And what they said was that it really had to come down to either Kyle or Lisa. And I don't believe that. Oh, excuse me. I don't believe Brandy would say she slept with either Kyle or Lisa. Now, I do believe Brandy would say that she slept with Kim. Yeah. Yeah, I believe that. But anyway, that's pretty much how this episode ended. That once again, everybody's sort of jumping on Denise, because now they're trying to say that Denise is lying, that they don't believe. And Lisa Rinna is just flat out saying that Denise is a liar, that she doesn't believe Denise, that it's not her. It's she flat out now lying. So, child, I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I know y'all gonna be in them comments. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.